An NFL Super Bowl team coach told a guy on the team who playing hurt, get the fuck out of here, and you telling me you, Brandon Marshall, would have told him, I would have got close to him and started talking to him.
No, let me tell you, I'm trying to get that. I know what I want. And I also know I want another bag. I'm trying to get another 40 million.
And then you starting your career on the high. It's like a roller coaster, you go up, and then as soon as it about to go down, everyone leave. If we all players and we all saying we care about mental health, why every time something happen bad or how someone react, oh, he's crazy, there's something wrong with his mental health. There's nothing wrong with my mental health. Someone told me get the out of here. I'm not passive aggressive. B. Muscle said he was gonna be passive aggressive, listen to a guy, tell him get the F out of here, when the guy already said he never wanted you, whatever.
So I guess here's what I'm saying to you is that.
But it's bigger than me.
I know it's bigger than you.
Because a lot of guys going through this.
Here's what I'm saying to you is
how do you protect your mental health as a football player
all of that
in
is
regards
good,
to getting what you want? How do you do that?
AB, all of that is good.
I'm asking you one question.
What?
We both asked each other one question. How do I maintain my mental health as a football player and still keep my integrity to get what I want?
Listen, the clips that you guys just seen, I thought he sounded coherent. I thought he made sense. I thought he was look, I don't I don't want that one clip of what I'm about to say to negate all his past indiscretions. I won't even comment on those things. I'm talking about this isolated incident where he took the jersey off and all that, right? I think he was making sense. Why is it that they attack people's mental health? Why? He made a sound decision. He said, hold up. He said the coach didn't want him in the first place. Then he got rid of it. Like, who wouldn't do that? I mean, I wouldn't strip naked and walk. But you understand what I'm saying? Of course, he
right.
did as for him. And by the way, going back to attacking mental health, because the other dude who he was conversating,
Brendan Marshall,
he was like, oh, I want to get another $40 million. I want to make it to the Hall of Fame. Great, love it. But are you willing to sacrifice your integrity? Because I know another person who did something similar that was not willing to sacrifice their integrity, and we clap our hands every time the story comes up. Of course, I'm talking about Dave Chappelle when he walked away from $50 million. They also called him crazy.
Right.
So again, for this isolated incident, I don't know if I could. AB was just basically saying, nah, man, you can't do that to me. Bye. Money ain't everything. That's all I got.
Dave Chappelle's a great example. Dave Chappelle's a great example of somebody that, because they do. I hear what you're saying with that part. The first thing that they want to go to is they're crazy. You know what I mean? Kanye is another example, but he probably is for real. Dave Chappelle is an example of people who make decisions they're crazy because it's not the norm. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you have to understand with AB, it's been a continuous thing, right? Like he can use that as an excuse for this situation, right? Yes, I was hurt. My ankle was hurt. Arians knew I was hurt, but he wanted to throw me in there knowing I was hurt. And then possibly my season's done or whatever. I can't get the incentives with my contract. I'm thinking about getting those incentives with my contract, longevity. You know, I don't care about this one play right now. So I don't want to participate. It's cool for that one situation. But if you understand and you have been following AB's situation from the time he moved from the Pittsburgh Steelers all the way to the Raiders, all the way to the Patriots, all the way to the Buccaneers, that's not an excuse that can be used for every situation. Your ankle was not hurt when you had a problem with the helmet that you were using. Your ankle was not hurt when you had the frostbite on your feet. Okay, your ankle was not hurt when you're there causing issues with Belichick. Your ankle wasn't hurt when you're complaining about not getting the ball enough from Roethlisberger, even though over the past how many years you have been the leading receiver on that team. So these are not things that involve you being hurt. These are decisions that you are making that 1 second you're all for it, and then the next second you explode, Antonio Brown. That's the problem. You're not dealing with these situations like a normal adult will. You resort to childish behaviors. I'm going to strip off all my clothes. That's what a child would do if they don't like what they're wearing. I'm not going to participate in the practice because I don't like the helmet that you got for me. That's what a child would do. right? So that's the problem that everybody has. And I think that's the thing that he's missing when people come for his mental health, because it's not a one-off situation. It's how you've been acting.
No, yeah, it's a pattern. It is a pattern, 100%. And it's kind of hard for him to argue the larger point because I don't see how it's indefensible. Really, it is.
Your ankle wasn't hurt the entire time for all those teams. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the case. And while it may be justification there, I can't use that. I can't. There's things that you've done that I can't see why that would make you angry.
Well, look, the one thing that I do like about this, because especially with the NFL, people just look at it as, sorry to say it like this, people look at it like, a slave ship on a field. You know what I mean? Most of the owners are white. I won't get into it, but there's a lot going on there. Like you said, what's the thing where there are issues with the brain?
CTE.
A lot going on there, messy, right? And of course, the NFL being like $1 billion industry, like they want to multi-billion. They want to keep that on the low as much as possible. So I love, in the age of the podcast, that these football players are doing things like this because it sheds some light on it. They get to speak their mind. I mean, I'm sure they're still holding back at the end of the day. They're trying to get paid, but I love that they do things like this and provide some insight on it. So I was happy to see it, and I hope I continue to see it. I think they do it with the NBA as well, too, right? Doesn't LeBron?
Yeah. Well, it's not as CTE is not that common in the NBA.
No, not just CTE. I just mean like the politics and the little, I guess, almost kind of like indirect.
Honestly, NBA players actually have a lot more control over what goes on with the teams and their situations, especially when you start getting on LeBron James. I can name a bunch of players off the top of my head right now. Everybody knows who those players are,
right?
But moves are not made because the NBA, the roster is 13 to 15 people.
Right. So they got
NFL is 53 people on a team. So one person can't really
rock the boat.
Even if you have the greatest quarterback, Tom Brady on the Miami Dolphins is not doing anything. You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't have the team to go with it. But when you're in the NBA, you have the KDs, you have the Steph Currys, you have the LeBron James, that if the team even wants to trade somebody, they will consult with those players before they do it.
Right. Makes sense.
So it's different.
No, makes sense.
It's different.
Makes sense. I just, again, wanted to express, I like the fact that they have these open forums and they speak to these things, whatever it is.
Right.
Money, racism, issues with whatever, with the organization, whatever it is. I think it's dope. But like I said earlier, you brought up a great point, which I guess was very obvious. I was just speaking to this one isolated.
I know, and that's why I said the way I said it, because I get it. Because even Brandon Marshall, when Brandon Marshall's talking back to him in one point, he says, if it was me, I would have walked up to Bruce Arians real quick and be like, you got to see me in the locker room all calm and shit. Cap!
Never would have. Not doing that.
Not only is Brandon Marshall wearing the cap, it's the 8-gallon. It's the 8-gallon, the little Wild West.
Yeah. Cap. The one that Pharrell used to wear all the time in Future.
That's the cap that he's wearing. Because anybody who's followed Brandon Marshall's career, the last thing that my man is known for is staying calm. Okay, so for you and anybody who's ever played sports, it doesn't even have to be Brandon Marshall. Anybody who's played sports and understands what it's like to be in the passion and the heat of the moment like that. And that's what's happening between a coach and a player. The level of anger, understandable. His reaction, however.
Yeah.
This guy, you got to remember something. I see where you're coming from, right? Because you said that this situation makes sense. It does. But when a man rips off his jersey and his clothes and decides to wave to the crowd on his way out, knowing in his mind that this is probably the last time I'm ever going to play on an NFL field, after fighting my way back into the NFL, after getting myself kicked out, there's something wrong with that person. If he had just walked off the field quietly, different.
I think that's a level of I don't give a F that he finally reached. I mean, you know what? How about this?
Stop.
Hold on. How about this? All the craziness, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not trying to diagnose, but all the craziness that we've seen, correct me if I'm wrong, keep me honest, happened while he was playing football, right?
Right.
Okay, he's no longer playing football.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, so let's see now. Let's see how he acts now. Let's see if the
hopefully it's
root of
different
the
from the last
problem.
time.
Let's see if the root of the problem was football. Like, a guy can get with a girl or vice versa, and they can completely change. That person completely changes them. They get that person out of their life, they're back to normal again. Let's see if the problem was football.
Well, listen, the last time he was out of the league for a little bit, he didn't really behave too well. Okay, so we have an example of what he's like outside the NFL, and he is somebody who is going to go broke very soon outside of this NFL because he sees his future as being a rapper.
Yeah,
that's what he feels.
First of all, he's hanging around with Kanye West, so give the guy a chance.
He's trying to be a rapper. That's his solution to him trying to continue his lifestyle where he spends ridiculous amounts of money. Because remember, this is AB. He's like Floyd Mayweather of the NFL, eh? He can't just come out wearing
I heard
t-shirt and some khakis.
Yo, I heard that AB is going to be on Donda too. So
okay,
I don't know what
I can see what you want to do. You want to end this topic and move on to the next one. I can see what you're doing here. No, I can see what you're doing. That's the way to do it. That's how you do it.
What are your thoughts, man? Is AB making any sense? Do you see him, I guess, toning down after his departure from the NFL? Or
I just told you this is the Floyd Mayweather of the NFL. Okay, so can you see Floyd Mayweather toning it down?
Well, I heard
that's not for you. That's just a general question.
I heard Floyd is executive producing Donda 2, so I don't know. Leave it in the comments. All right.